Los Lobos Cartel set their sights on Mesa Verde, Texas, they thought it would be easy. A broken border town, a handful of aging ranchers, and a few promises wrapped in dollar signs, the perfect ingredients for a quiet takeover. But what they didn't count on was that their biggest mistake would be messing with an old man and his bear. Charlie Old Man Taylor had spent 4 years raising Spirit. Not just any grizzly, but an 800-pound legend. Found as a cub, wounded and alone, Spirit became family. So when the cartel's schemes put that bear in their crosshairs, they didn't just pick a fight with a rancher. They declared war on a man who's got nothing left to lose, and Charlie's not alone. Backing him is a brotherhood of battle-hardened bikers, veterans who've already fought one war and are ready to fight another, this time on their own soil. In Mesa Verde, loyalty runs deeper than roots, and family isn't just blood. Sometimes it has fur and claws. What started as a land grab is about to explode into an uprising. Because when a small town stands together, even the most powerful cartel can crumble. This is the story of how one bear's capture lit the fuse, and how a town's refusal to back down left everyone stunned. Before we dive in, tell us in the comments where you're watching from and hit subscribe. Tomorrow's story? Let's just say it gets even wilder. The morning sun stretches over Lone Star Ranch. Charlie's worn boots crunch across the gravel as he walks to Spirit's massive enclosure, 2 acres of fenced wilderness he built with his own hands. In his grip, a bucket of fresh fish and fruit. "Come on out, big fella," Charlie calls, his voice steady. From the shadows, Spirit emerges. Pure muscle, dark eyes locked on Charlie. But there's no threat there, just trust, the kind you earn with years of care and quiet moments. A dusty truck pulls in. It's Diana Flores, the town vet. She's been with Spirit since day one. "How's our boy today?" "Strong as ever," Charlie says, watching Spirit pick through breakfast, but restless, like he senses something's coming. Diana frowns. "You hear about that town meeting yesterday? Some company, Southwest Agricultural Investment, making big promises, jobs, money, new life for Mesa Verde." Charlie's eyes narrow. "I heard their man Delgado's been sniffing around my land too, asking about Spirit." Diana lowers her voice. "You think they're connected?" Charlie nods. 40 years on the border, I know a wolf in sheep's clothing when I see one." Then the ground trembles. 3 motorcycles roll in, chrome gleaming in the sunlight. Charlie recognizes the lead rider instantly, Samuel Tank Harrison, head of the local Veterans Motorcycle Club. Tank kills the engine and walks over, helmet in hand. "Charlie, we need to talk." It's serious. What follows confirms Charlie's worst fears. Through connections across the border, Tank's club has learned that this investment company is a front. Los Lobos has done this before, buying up property under fake names, using sanctuaries as smokescreens. And now, they've got their eyes on Spirit's enclosure. "They think if they get the bear," Tank says grimly, "they get leverage over you." "And I say they're wrong," Charlie growls. "This land ain't for sale." "They won't ask twice," Tank warns. "They'll pressure, threaten." "Maybe worse," Diana chimes in. "We need to tell the sheriff." "Already did," Tank sighs. No solid proof, and the town council's already falling for Delgado's pitch. Patricia Green's pushing to rush their permits. Charlie turns to look at Spirit, now stretched beside the pond but alert, ears perked. The bear knows. Something's wrong. "I raised my kids here," Charlie says quietly. "Buried my wife here. Spirit's all I got left. If they think they can use him against me, they picked the wrong old man." Tank places a firm hand on Charlie's shoulder. "We've seen this before. Not again. Not here. We've got your back." As the bikes roar off down the dirt road, Charlie glances at Diana. "Better stock up on medical supplies. I got a feeling we'll need 'em." "You've got more people behind you than you know," she says, voice calm but certain. As the day rolls on, Spirit grows more restless. Charlie feels it too. Something in the air has changed. Meanwhile, in a sleek new office in town, Marco Delgado traces a finger across a map of Mesa Verde. stopping at the boundary of Lone Star Ranch, right on Spirit's enclosure. The cartel thinks they're in control, but they just woke up a grizzly and the town that raised him. Back in town, the cartel's mask slips. Inside his office, Marco Delgado's smile turns razor sharp. "The old man won't sell the sanctuary," one of his men reports. Delgado doesn't flinch. "Everyone has a pressure point, and we just found his. Make the arrangements. Let's see how stubborn he is when we've got his precious bear." Meanwhile, out at the ranch, Charlie Taylor sits on his porch cleaning his father's old rifle. Spirit's low grunts echo from the enclosure. Steady, familiar, comforting. But for the first time in years, Charlie doesn't feel at peace. The rifle gleams in the sun, and Charlie recalls his father's words. "Sometimes standing your ground ain't about bravery. It's just being too damn stubborn to let go of what you love." The porch creaks. Charlie's sister Dorothy steps outside. "Figured I'd find you here," she says. "Tank called, told me what's brewing." Charlie sighs. "Didn't think they'd target Spirit." Dorothy's voice hardens. "Then they clearly don't know us Taylors very well." As the sun dips behind the hills, shadows stretch across Mesa Verde. Two worlds, the ranchers and the cartel, are barreling toward a collision. In his enclosure, Spirit lifts his massive head to the breeze, alert. In town, motorcycles rumble outside the Veterans Club, low voices planning. And on his porch, Charlie finishes loading his rifle, ready for a fight he never wanted, but won't walk away from. The next day, Mesa Verde's town hall overflows. The ceiling fans rattle, but it's not the heat that's making people sweat. It's the tension. Marco Delgado stands at the podium, polished and practiced. Behind him, blueprints light up the screen. Shopping centers, clinics, housing developments. 300 new jobs, he announces. State-of-the-art healthcare, affordable housing. This is a future we can build together, with your support. The room stirs. Patricia Green, head of the council, nods slowly. But behind her eyes, you can see the cracks. Years of drought, job loss, kids moving away. People want to believe this is hope, even if it smells like a setup. Tank leans against the back wall, unreadable. Charlie sits nearby, quiet, watching. Then a voice cuts through the noise. Diana Flores. "What about the environmental impact?" she asks. "These projects run right up against protected land, including Spirit Sanctuary." Delgado smiles like a politician. "We've done our environmental surveys. Wildlife protection is a priority." Tank steps forward, voice like thunder. "Like in Sierra Roa, where your wildlife preserve turned into a corporate staging area 6 months after construction began?" The room falls silent. Delgado's eyes narrow, but his tone stays smooth. "I'm not familiar with that case. Perhaps we can discuss your concerns after the meeting." Outside, Diana corners Charlie. "They're moving fast, too fast. Permits are being waved through without oversight." Charlie watches Delgado shake hands with council members. "This town's been quiet too long," he says, "and money's making it even quieter." Tank walks up with his second-in-command, Kevin Lion Ramirez. "Our brothers down south confirmed it," Lion says. "Los Lobos is buying up land through shell companies. They move in clean, but it doesn't stay that way." Charlie's jaw clenches. Spirit Sanctuary. It's remote, private. Exactly the kind of place they'd want for moving cargo. "They'll start subtle," Lion warns. "Permits, code violations. Then they'll push harder." As if on cue, Delgado approaches. 2 men flank him. Their suits don't match the dust of Mesa Verde. "Mr. Taylor," Delgado begins, "we'd love to schedule a proper meeting. Your land is vital to our plans." Charlie's voice is ice. "Not interested." "At least review our offer. It would be a shame if your sanctuary ran into regulatory issues. Wildlife permits can be tricky." Tank steps forward, steel in his voice. "Easy with the threats, friend. They tend to backfire." Delgado gives a hollow smile. "Just concerned about procedures. Good day, gentlemen." Later that afternoon, Diana's truck kicks up dust on the road to the ranch. Something's bugging her. The construction zones, they don't make sense. Unless... She slams the brakes. A black SUV blocks the road. Two men step out. "Dr. Flores," one says. "Mr. Delgado kindly suggests you focus on your veterinary work and leave land use matters to others." Back at Lone Star Ranch, Spirit paces. Something's wrong. Even the bear can feel it. Dorothy joins Charlie at the fence. "Remember how Dad used to say you could smell trouble on the wind?" Charlie nods. Spirit does. That evening, the Veterans Clubhouse glows with low light. Tank gathers the team. Maps, property records, satellite photos. Everything's on the table now. The line has been drawn. And tomorrow, the fight begins. They're moving faster than anyone expected. Lion traces his finger across the map inside the Veterans Club. "They started months ago, buying land through shell companies," he says grimly. "And look at this. Every so-called wildlife corridor they're planning. Perfect smuggling routes. All the red lines on the map lead to one place, Charlie Taylor's ranch." Late at night, Councilwoman Patricia Green stays behind at Town Hall. Stacks of permit applications cover her desk, but the numbers don't add up. The money behind these projects is buried under layers of shell companies, a financial maze that smells like a cover-up. Her phone buzzes. A text from Delgado. "Consider the town's future. Some questions are better left unasked." Dawn breaks across the desert. Charlie walks out with breakfast for Spirit, but stops in his tracks. The gate's been tampered with. The chain is cut and replaced with a new one. A note flutters on the fence. "Last chance, old man. Next time we take more than just your lock." Charlie sits on the porch, rifle across his lap. "They're testing us," he says as Diana pulls up. "Seeing how far they can push." She nods, eyes scanning the horizon. "They don't just want your land, Charlie. They want control of the whole town." Tank's motorcycle kicks up dust as he rolls in, followed by the rest of the crew. "We've confirmed it," he says. "They're moving supplies through the construction sites. Deliveries at night, trucks leaving empty. They're setting up before they even have approval." Charlie clenches his jaw. Tank continues, voice heavy. "They've hired locals. Some of our own neighbors are working for them now." The air thickens. This isn't just about outsiders anymore. Mesa Verde is being turned against itself. From the enclosure, Spirit growls, low and deep. Charlie turns to him. "He knows," he murmurs, "just like he did the night those poachers came." Tank studies the bear's stance. "Set up surveillance," he tells his crew. "If they want him, they'll have to come through us." As the sun sets, Charlie walks the edge of his property. Fresh tire tracks, broken branches. He's being watched. Back in town, Patricia Green photocopies questionable documents, her hands shaking. At the veterinary clinic, Diana locks away her files. Someone will come looking. The wind picks up across the high desert, carrying dust and warning. In his enclosure, Spirit stands motionless, a living shadow beneath the darkening sky. Lines have been drawn, but how far will each side go? Charlie's voice echoes in the stillness. This land, this town, this bear, they're all we've got. And some things are worth fighting for. If this story moves you, hit subscribe. Your support means the world. And now, back to the fight. The first blow lands without warning. Lion hits the pavement outside Morgan's diner, blood dripping from his lip. 3 of Delgado's men loom over him, sending a message. "Stay out of cartel business." Tank and 2 riders rush from their bikes, but the attackers are already gone. Tires screeching down Main Street in a black SUV. Minutes later, Sheriff Roberts arrives with a notepad and a disinterested look. "Didn't get a good look at him," he mumbles. Lion wipes blood from his chin. "We all know who they work for." Roberts shrugs. "Without proof, there's nothing I can do." "Maybe you boys should focus on your own business." Tank watches him leave, disgusted. "They're getting bold," he growls. "Time to push back." At the clinic, Diana flips through documents, then freezes. The environmental impact reports for the construction project, word-for-word copies of ones she's seen before, reused, forged. Her phone buzzes, a text from an unknown number. Smart vets treat animals, not paperwork. Back at the ranch, Charlie tightens chains on Spirit's gate. and installs security cameras. The bear watches, pacing nervously. "I know, big guy," Charlie mutters. "I don't like strangers here either." Dorothy arrives with supplies. "Patricia stopped by the store," she says. "She's been digging into the company's financials, says none of it checks out." Charlie tests the new lock. "She's playing a dangerous game," he replies. "These people don't handle questions well." That night, Patricia Green sits alone in her office, documents scattered around her, deeds, permits, bank records, all pointing to one truth. This isn't about development, it's about takeover. A shadow crosses her window. She quickly hides the files. The door creaks open. Marco Delgado enters without knocking. "Working late, Miss Green? That kind of dedication deserves recognition. Maybe a position in our new town structure?" She keeps her voice steady. "Just paperwork." His smile doesn't reach his eyes. "Good. It'd be unfortunate if your son lost his new job. Construction's hard to come by these days." After he leaves, Patricia's hands tremble as she dials Diana's number. Meanwhile, inside the clubhouse, Tank and his crew are preparing. Surveillance photos, supply routes, maps filled with notes. The cartel thinks this town is blind. They're about to find out just how wrong they are. "They're not just building, they're positioning," Lyon says, pointing to the map. "The marked sites, all active construction zones, form a network. But that's not their endgame," he adds. "Every route leads here, Charlie's ranch. Remote, defensible, and Spirit Sanctuary, the perfect cover." "Who's going to question a bear enclosure?" another writer mutters. "It's genius and dangerous." Just then, the door swings open. Diana strides in, holding a folder. "They faked everything," she says. "Environmental reports. Copied word for word from other projects. Just swapped names and dates." Tank doesn't even flinch. "Won't matter," he says. "Sheriff's already bought. Saw him having steak with Delgado last night. Looked real friendly." Out at the ranch, watch duty never stops. 2 motorcycles idle near the fence, riders changing shifts like clockwork. Every car, every shadow is logged. Doctor Michael Chen pulls up, the town physician and longtime friend. "Figured I'd check on you," he says quietly. "Word's out about Lyon getting jumped." On the porch, Charlie leads him to a seat. "They're sending signals," he says. "Next won't be a fist, it'll be worse." Chen sighs. "The hospital board met yesterday. Delgado's company offered to build a new wing. Those who questioned it, suddenly under investigation. Then, a roar from the enclosure. Spirits on edge, eyes fixed skyward. A drone buzzes above, just out of reach. Charlie lifts his rifle. "Don't," Chen warns. "That's what they want. Give them an excuse." The drone vanishes, but the message is clear. They're always watching. Later at the gas station, Tank spots an unfamiliar SUV. The window lowers. Marco Delgado. "Unfortunate business this morning," Delgado says smoothly. "Hot tempers, people get hurt." Tank glares. "Keep pushing. See what happens." Delgado smiles coldly. "We're here to bring prosperity. Why resist progress?" Tank doesn't blink. "Seen your kind of progress in Iraq and Afghanistan. Different flags, same playbook." Delgado's voice drops. "Maybe your friend Charlie needs help understanding cooperation." Tank's grip tightens on the gas pump. "Touch that old man or his bear, and you'll learn about our tactics." That evening, the town braces for impact. Diana encrypts and sends her evidence to multiple emails. Patricia Green does the same. Blueprints, bank records, photos of backdoor meetings. At the ranch, Charlie sits with Spirit in the dimming light. The bear lies close, massive head resting by the fence. 4 years ago, Spirit was a broken cub. Now he's at the center of something much bigger. Dorothy walks over with coffee for the riders guarding the land. "They'll come at night," she says. "That's the thing about veterans," one rider replies. "We never sleep through danger." Just a mile away in an unmarked van, a team silently checks weapons. Satellite images flicker across their screen. Delgado's orders are crystal clear. Take the bear, break the old man, secure the ranch. Midnight at Lone Star Ranch. The desert holds its breath. Then, movement. 3 black vans approach from 3 directions. No headlights. Silent. But they're not invisible. Lyon's voice crackles on the radio. They're here, all sides. I count 12. Engines fire. Motorcycles roar to life, flooding the night with sound. Charlie steps out onto the porch, rifle in hand. Dorothy takes position upstairs, sighting the road through a scope. Spirit paces, snarling. He knows what's coming. A dart whistles through the air. Not at Spirit, but his fence. The grizzly bellows, loud and furious, a sound that echoes across the ranch. Hold your ground, Tank orders. Nobody gets near that enclosure. The intruders are trained, tactical, quick, but Tank's crew, they've seen worse in places where mercy isn't part of the mission. They don't scatter. They hunt. A voice calls out, Mr. Taylor, don't make this harder than it needs to be. We'll take good care of the bear. Don't risk lives over this. Charlie's reply, a single shot. It kicks up dirt inches from the speaker's feet. The message is clear. Keep talking, and the next one won't miss. The night explodes. Tank's men erupt from cover, engines screaming. Motorcycle headlights cut through the dark, blinding the attackers. 2 men stumble back, caught off guard. Then, flashing lights, sirens. Sheriff Roberts' patrol cars appear, but they're not there to help. Sheriff's Department. Stand down, Roberts yells at Tank's men. Diana watches from down the road, phone camera recording. Got you now, she whispers. This time the world's gonna see what you've been covering up. The battle focuses on Spirit's pen. 3 men with tranquilizer guns circle in. Charlie fires again. No hesitation. Equipment shatters. One more warning, old man, one of them shouts. Next time we won't be so nice. From the darkness, Tank's voice booms. Check your 6, tough guy. 5 more motorcycles roar in from behind. The trap is set. And this time, it's the hunters who are hunted. This fight's not over. It's only just begun. Hit subscribe if you're with us, and be here for the next chapter. Because in Mesa Verde, freedom has teeth, and one very angry bear. Tank's riders are masters of controlled chaos, and it shows. The cartel's men scatter, their formation shattered by the blinding lights, roaring engines, and flanking maneuvers. From behind his megaphone, Sheriff Roberts shouts, "This is an illegal gathering. Disperse immediately." Tank doesn't flinch. "Funny," he replies, "you didn't seem too worried about the armed men trying to steal a bear." Inside the enclosure, Spirit's agitation boils over. He charges the fence, slamming his massive weight against it inches from one of the intruders. The structure groans. The man stumbles, panicking, and drops his weapon. Meanwhile, in her dark office, Patricia Green scans Diana's latest photos, images of the sheriff standing by, doing nothing, as armed men storm private land. A text buzzes in from Diana. "Got everything." Patricia replies, "Be careful. They're watching us." At the ranch, the standoff teeters on collapse. Delgado's men, facing far more resistance than expected, begin to fall back. Sheriff Roberts finally approaches Charlie. "You're interfering with a wildlife inspection," he says stiffly. Charlie doesn't move. Since when do inspections need tranquilizer guns and midnight raids? "This will be reported," Roberts warns. "Your sanctuary license could be revoked." Tank steps forward. "Go ahead. We've got it all on camera, including your deputies standing around while armed men tried to steal private property." As dawn breaks over Mesa Verde, the cost becomes visible. Tranquilizer darts scatter the ground. Fences are torn. Equipment destroyed. Charlie approaches Spirit's pen slowly. "Easy now, big guy. They're gone, for now." Dorothy joins him, checking his arm for injuries. "They'll come again," she says quietly. "This was just a test." Tank gathers the riders. "They were probing, gauging our response. Next time, they'll come harder." At Delgado's office, the night's report arrives. His face remains calm, but his knuckles whiten around the edge of the desk. "The old man has more support than we thought," he mutters. "Change of strategy." His lieutenant nods. "What about the veterinarian? She filmed everything." Delgado's eyes harden. "Deal with her." Accidents happen in quiet towns. Back at the ranch, Charlie spends the morning reinforcing Spirit's enclosure. The bear watches, tense and alert. Diana arrives with bad news. They hit 3 other ranches last night while everyone was focused here, she says. The Andersons, the Martinezes, even Dr. Chen. They're sending a message. Tank's team keeps watch, but exhaustion is setting in. We can't hold like this forever, Lion admits. They've got more men, more money. Then we change the rules, Tank replies. We go public, build the case, make it too loud to silence. A truck slows down near the ranch gate. Something flies from the window, lands near Tank. He picks it up and freezes. A photo of Charlie and Dorothy taken yesterday at the grocery store, without their knowledge. Scrawled in red across the bottom, everyone has to sleep sometime. The morning sun climbs, but it brings no comfort. Charlie stares at the photo, jaw clenched. In the pen, Spirit rises to his feet, as if sensing that something terrible is near. This isn't about money anymore. Not land, not permits. It's a fight for the soul of Mesa Verde. Dorothy's voice doesn't shake. They think threats will scare us off? Tank steps in beside her. Then they've clearly never met this town. Before dawn, a brick smashes through the front window of Mesa Verde's veterinary clinic. Diana, working late, rushes out, only to find the place ransacked, medical cabinets shattered, equipment destroyed, spray painted on the wall in red. Mind your own business. Her hands tremble as she dials Tank. Her voice, however, is rock steady. They hit the clinic, tried to make it look like random vandalism. Within minutes, engines roar. Motorcycles flood the lot. Tank surveys the wreckage, jaw locked. You're not staying here alone anymore, he says. Lion, get her to the ranch. I have patience, Diana protests. You can't help them if you're dead, Lion replies, leading her to his bike. Across town, Patricia Green slips a USB drive into her purse. Her office glows dimly in the computer light. Inside the files, proof of shell companies, money laundering, and construction plans that only make sense if they're hiding trafficking routes. A floorboard creaks. Patricia freezes. Marco Delgado steps into the doorway, face half-shadowed. Working late again, Miss Green? Admirable. Just paperwork, she says calmly, gripping her purse like a lifeline. Strange, he continues. Our security team flagged some unusual file activity. But before he can step forward, the rumble of motorcycles fills the parking lot. Tank's riders haven't left her unprotected. Excuse me, she says, brushing past him. I've got a meeting at Lone Star Ranch. And there, under the watchful gaze of a scarred and defiant grizzly, Charlie Taylor watches the horizon. Spirit no longer paces from nerves. Now he stands guard, protective, ready. And so is Mesa Verde. If you believe in standing your ground, share this story. Subscribe for the next chapter, because the cartels moved in, but they're about to find out what happens when a town refuses to kneel. Spirit senses danger before it arrives. Whenever a vehicle approaches, the massive bear instinctively steps between it and Charlie, like he knows exactly what's at stake. Inside, Dorothy shuffles through bills. Taxes tripled, new fees piling up. They're drowning us in paperwork, she mutters. They're doing it to anyone who stands with us, Charlie replies. Anderson's feed store, health violations, Martinez's farm, water rights revoked. The pressure's growing, and now it's not just about Charlie's land. It's about silencing everyone who resists. Diana enters, still shaken from the attack on her clinic. They're escalating, she warns. They want to make an example of us. Tank's crew is exhausted, stretched thin trying to protect the town. Lion radios in. Movement at the old Miller property. Trucks arriving at night, gone by dawn. They're building something, Tank mutters. Infrastructure before takeover. A truck speeds by. Shots ring out. One of Tank's riders goes down. Spirit charges the fence, roaring. He knows, always does. Dr. Chen treats the wounded, face grim. The hospital board just backed Southwest Agricultural. Opponents had their licenses suspended. Patricia Green arrives at the ranch with documents. They're creating a corridor, she says, laying out maps. Spirit Sanctuary sits right in the middle. A perfect cover, Tank adds. Nobody questions armed guards around a dangerous animal. Diana spreads out her findings, the permits, the surveys, all forgeries. Sheriff Roberts won't touch it, she says. He's too deep in their pocket. Outside, Spirit paces, staring into the dark. He feels it, Charlie murmurs. Trouble's coming. A truck pulls up. It's Anderson. They came for my business license. I'm not backing down. He drops off 6 months' feed for Spirit. No charge. Then come more. Martinez, Chen, other townsfolk. Food, ammo, supplies. They think they can isolate us, Dorothy says. They don't understand community, someone replies. Tank's phone buzzes. Los Lobos is moving major resources to the border, he says. Whatever's coming, it's big. Lyon bursts in with papers salvaged from the Miller property. Construction plans, not the ones shown to the council. Underground tunnels, secure rooms. They're not building a town, Tank says. They're building a hub for drugs, weapons, human trafficking. Charlie walks to Spirit's enclosure. This land's been in my family 4 generations, he says. My father told me, we don't just own it, we guard it. Now I understand. The townspeople take their stand. They don't back down, because what they're fighting for isn't just land, it's a way of life. And at the center of it all, one old man, one bear, and a town that refuses to be broken. Up next, 2 powerful stories are waiting for you. If this one moved you, you'll love what's coming next. Click to watch, and don't forget to subscribe. It means the world.